Hello and welcome to the video. Back in 3DXR again with Ben. Hello Ben.
Hello.
Now I did a video a little while ago talking about the Herelink system. Now the Herelink system is something that's a bit new, currently in beta, and allows for HD FPV style transmission back to here. It's actually an Android device running an operating system, Q ground control, and when it's finished it'll have things like picture-in-picture, phenomenal range, really aimed at those higher end people with gimbals on their craft and other things as well. Now on that original video there were quite a lot of questions, and thank you to everybody that posted something. So while we're here, it's a great opportunity to pick Ben's mind. Caveat before we start, there is a lot of changes going on because this is a beta product. So where Ben has the information, because Ben's probably the most knowledgeable guy in the UK about this right now, then you'll be able to answer it. I'm guessing that for some of these questions the answer will be wait and see.
Exactly.
But while I've got Ben, and this again is part of the Big Boys Toys playlist, so go and have a look at the stuff in there. 3DXR kind of specialise in custom building very large UAV craft, submarines, planes, wings, multi-rotors, all kinds of stuff, as well as having some phenomenally big batteries and other things as well. So if that's what you're interested in, it's worth coming onto the website. So before we get started, again, thank you Ben for the time this morning, because I know it's a big deal you put aside time to answer my questions. Every time I come in here I'm like a kid in a sweet shop. So first of all, let's get the most common question that we had on that original video, particularly from English Turbines and AJ, that were asking about the range. Now, when we first looked at it, you mentioned the range was kind of in the 20-kilometre mark. I think lots of people kind of spat their tea over their phone or laptop, whatever they're watching the video on. Can you talk a little bit more about that? Because I know somebody's actually, and we're not mentioning any names because they'll probably get into trouble, has been flying it multiple kilometres.
Well, doing ground tests on it, yeah. So first of all, the 20-kilometre stated range is for the FCC setting, and CE will be for 12 kilometres in the manufacturer's description. So yeah, I do have a user that has done simulated some tests. So they've mounted the camera and the sort of air unit on a tripod on a cliff and driven away. So yeah, this wasn't in the air, but it was a very close simulation.
Good, so it was legal.
Exactly, yes.
Right, we'll have that.
For how it would range, and he was able to get 15 kilometres. So what only stopped him was running out of road, and so yeah, 15 kilometres full HD downlink telemetry. Yeah, it's like nothing out there really.
Okay, so we shall wait and see what the final version, because at the moment I believe it's still going through certification, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. So there's still software improvements to be made, and the hardware, as you see it now, is the hardware for the Herelink. It is just software changes and improvements. It takes a lot to get a product like this to market. So yeah, there is some software changes that will happen. One of the main changes is, at the moment it's running Q ground control. It is going to change over to a custom version of something called Solex. So Solex is an app that was used with like the 3D Solo, like an add-on app. It used to be, it is a paid-for app, but what they've done is they have the developer of Solex working on a version just for this controller, and that's included. The license is included with the device. That opens up possibilities for people who have used Solex of more complex sort of control of cameras and smart shots in the future.
Great stuff. Okay, so at the moment it's been tested to up to 15k on the ground, but we'll wait and see when all of the FCC and CE.
I mean, my things on range is everybody quotes these large numbers, and it's more about having a quality picture in the envelope you operate in. So obviously sticking within the rules and regulations. So when you have an indication of this long range, you'll just know that within your, say, 500 metre bubble, you'll have good, solid, high quality picture.
I think that's a really good point. It's something I talk about when I've done all my videos on TVS Crossfire, because people think Crossfire is only for long-range flying or flying beyond line of sight, which in most places is illegal, of course.
Yeah.
But it just means that in the local bubble that you are legal in, you've got a very, very solid connection. Okay, next one is from Lord Grillworth. Apologies to you, I probably just destroyed your name. Hi Ben, I like the system, delays are manageable. I would if I could afford it to make an RC aeroplane with this system. Not able to do that right now. But my question is, what camera do we know can be controlled, taking pictures or activating recording? I was thinking about Canon and Nikon, would guess that there's also some other brands that can zoom, but are those made for UAVs? I think this is tapping into a common misconception about what Herelink is and what it actually gives you on the far end.
Yeah, so the Herelink, it's a controller, so it's on the air end, it has a S-bus output, and you can map your controls as you would with your Trans or other controller. You have the video feed, so we have two HDMI inputs on the air end, which are showed on the screen. So there's no HDMI output from this controller at the moment. There will be a solution in the future. And you're also receiving the telemetry data, the Mavlink data, which is being displayed in the ground control software running on this app. When you're talking about camera control, that is different with every camera.
Right.
I use a lot of Sony cameras. Could be as simple as this little RX0.
Because that is pretty small. That's kind of like a chunky GoPro session.
Yeah, so that was for a small flying wing for mapping.
Yeah.
A6000s, the A6000 series, 6500 or a common one. The other cameras I use are A7R2s and RX1Rs, which are currently in drones, so I'll show you those. So if it's a mapping application, then a simple option to trigger the camera by the autopilot. So here we have a sealed map. This has got a Sony multi-connector on. These also do cables for most manufacturers, Nikon, Canon, and the purpose of this one is purely just to take a picture.
Right, so this is actually going to plug into the camera at one end and some flight controller output at the other, and you configure the flight controllers to send signals to this.
It's just looking
trigger
for a PWM signal, so you could just put it into a receiver and switch.
Right.
But all that's given you on this one is take a picture.
Fab. Okay,
So
that makes
this
it
one
just
here,
goes into the USB port. I'm guessing by the look of
It's
this.
technically a Sony multi-port.
It's
It's like a USB, but it has a few extra pins.
But it's special.
It's so
That's
special,
Sony.
yeah, isn't it?
Right, so that's just going to go in
So
there.
that goes into there.
Okay.
So like I said, this map one is just trigger. There's other methods to this. You can use on a Pixel, you can use relays, and there is alternative ways to do these cables. The Seagull is a very neat solution.
Yeah.
It also has a status LED which tells you if it's happy. So
I like that. So if you are interested in me coming back and doing another video with Ben in more depth around camera triggering, because it's something that you do a lot, and camera control with things like Pixel, then leave a comment down below and we'll make another video on that, because I know that's something that lots of people get confused about. Hopefully that answers the question, Lord Grillworth. Next question is from Tom Cutler. I think it's the Tom that's a patron of mine, so hello to Tom. Very good. I've been trying and struggling with the 3DR solo brain transplants. This looks like it would overcome some of the major drawbacks of the system. Look forward to seeing how it progresses. So 3DR solo brain transplants, and that was it's like a previous cube, wasn't it? Or what was cube?
So yeah, one benefit you got with the 3DR Solo was these Smart Shots cable cam, and the Solo has this onboard computer, an IMX6, and what you could do is deshell, so take everything out, transplant its brain, and put it onto any drone. It could be an octocopter, could be anything, and benefit from those features. So the basic idea behind this is you have an octo-core processor on them. You have 8 processors on the air end, and there is spare processing power, and that will be utilised to hopefully deliver small shots and other features down the line.
Right.
So that the capability is there.
So stay tuned, Tom, as we get information about that. I'll get myself back up here and we'll ask again. Next one is Don't Nola, talking about wanting to buy the system, but the question from him is still waiting for the orange cube. Slightly not related to the Herelink, but while I've got you, let's answer that.
Yes, there's lots of cubes coming out. I know the pictures are put up showing various different cubes, and they're in various different stages of testing and production.
Right.
There's an orange cube, there'll be a yellow cube. So they were from the F7 series of processors. They will be out when they're ready.
Fantastic. So not yet is the answer. If you're not sure what that question's coming from, I did a video before Christmas actually where you relayed some of the information that Ben got at one of the Develop conference, I think. Was it out in China?
Yeah, so I mean these other cubes are in testing. Just because it's a better cube, it has a faster processor. If you were to use it now, you wouldn't see necessarily any benefit. That's with the Shibios update, which changed the sort of underlying operating system. It's basically given all these flight controllers
a new resources.
Yeah, if you like to say. So just because you can put an F7 chip in the flight controller doesn't mean it's going to make any difference to the average user. You will not necessarily see any changes. There is some reasons for doing this, and there is users that will need this.
Yeah.
But at the moment, the Cube Black is the the cube for most people.
Well, thank you for that. So hopefully, Don't Know that answers for you. Pavan Shetty, is there a possibility to get telemetry also on the mission planner on a laptop when you're using the Herelink?
Yeah, so that is a feature that will be added, absolutely. There'll be a Wi-Fi connection to your laptop or device running a mission planner to get the telemetry as you do now from a telemetry radio. So that is, the idea of this is to ditch wires and have a wireless link to your laptop or tablet, and down the line there will be ways to put this on other screens without wires. That's the idea behind this.
Wonderful, that's a nice easy one. Tybo, no idea how you're saying your second name, Tybo. I do apologise for that, but I won't attempt it because I will horrendously mess that up. Is it possible to put subs in the controller from another more traditional transmitter and use the Herelink controller for camera control only? I think what Tybo is getting at there is, would you kind of have your mate stood there doing the camera control, looking at what the feed looks like with the Herelink, and you might be using a Taranis or a Futaba or something else to actually fly the UAV?
Yeah, so on the setup I was testing this on, I had this just operating the gimbal controls. Mm-hmm. So the air end is outputting S-bus, so I just set up the controller that it would control my pitch and yaw of the gimbal and see the camera, and used a second remote, a Taranis, for the flight. Now the idea is that you will be able to have a master and slave of these units, so you can have a pilot and a camera operator both seeing the feed.
Yep.
One flies the drone, one controls the camera. Obviously that's convenient on larger rigs, especially if you have full control of the gimbal. If you have 360 view, then it makes sense having a camera operator. So you can map these controls however you like. You can split, you can have this just attached to the gimbal, another controller attached to the flight controller, or you could use it as a single operator method where you have the sticks for control and use something like the dial for tilt on a gimbal and say trigger a picture. Let's say all the buttons can be mapped however you want. It is the controller element of this is like a normal transmitter. It's outputting your channels on S-bus.
Right. So the answer is a very big yes. You can pretty much do it however you want, because at the far end it basically is and appears and does everything in terms of the flight control system using S-bus, and everything uses S-bus. It's just the video stuff that's a bit funky.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Next one is from MUC Racing. Dual HDMI for cameras is okay. That allows one for the payload camera, something like a Sony A7R, or we've already looked at one here that would do the job as well. But what cam currently on the market has HDMI out and can be used as an FPV feed, and is the size of the cams used for freestyle? That is a great question. I'm not aware of any kind of latest and greatest ones. Obviously, you've got some of the GoPro stuff, but I'm not sure if they have HDMI out.
That's the thing. At the minute, I'm trying to find some myself as well. Trying to get those small FPV cameras that are HDMI. There's not really any that small. I've normally resorted to GoPros, smaller Sony cameras. Hopefully more will come out.
Right.
You could use converters. It's just another part to have in there. And do be wary of small cameras that have what looks like an HDMI plug on them, but are just analog and using that socket for convenience, because there is some of those. So do check it is HDMI. I mean, another argument to me would be that you've got this nice HDMI screen, this HDMI feed. Why stick an analog camera on it? But yeah, I'm sure there will be some more products out soon that are capable of being used with it.
So can you keep your eyes as you spot them? Can you let me know?
Please do, yeah.
Okay, will do. And vice versa, in case I get contacted by a vendor. Okay, that's MUC Ratings. Hopefully that's answered for you. Everyday Drone Guy asked, great video and system. Herelink being Android. Will it be able to load other apps on it? Would love to see HDMI on the V2. So first of all, first part of that question, will you be able to load other apps on it with it being Android?
Yes, it's open. You can put other apps on it. Some people might want to develop their own apps. Obviously, it depends which apps are going to work with it. So there is a version of Q Ground Control that's working on it at the minute. But yeah, developers could create their own app for it. Fab.
And the second one, HDMI output on the V2. At the moment, there's no information about that.
There's no V2. This is the Herelink as it is. There is just, like I say, the product is beta. That's mainly on the software side. The next delivery, it's the same hardware. It's just going to ship with the software improvements. Anybody with the beta 1, if you like, you will just update the software. It's the same unit. Like I say, the manufacturers want to go for a wireless solution of this getting the feed to other screens. So at the moment there's no intention of an HDMI output. There's also no timeline for a V2 or anything like that, but this is the Herelink, and they want to resolve these HDMI issues with wireless links and a sort of smarter way to do it. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Last question on that video was from a gentleman called Bauhaus. He asked, and you were very sweet and actually answered this question on a comment on YouTube, so thank you for doing that for me. He's been flying a Parrot Disco, and both the controller sticks are spring-loaded on the Disco, because the Disco, and for those of you that have seen the video, go and watch the Disco. It is one of those products that is fantastic, and if you can spot one around for the kind of £300-400 price point, and you want beautiful, smooth aerial video, and you want to be able to fly for 20-30 minutes at a time, it's amazing. It's stabilized digital video. But what Bauhaus is asking for here is he would really like to do the same kind of thing with a Pixhawk, and would that be possible to make a disco-like craft with Pixhawk and Herelink? And you answered him, and the short answer was yes, wasn't it?
Yeah, so obviously the Disco is a nice unit, and especially with the price drop, because it's been discontinued, that's why the price has dropped.
Have you left in stock, or have you sold all yours now? Oh.
I had to go and find, so I had to hunt some more down on eBay the other week for a customer. We had a small amount of them, and they went straight away. So basically, when you're using a Disco, the way you're flying is the same as what's called fly-by-wire B mode. So that's a mode that holds the altitude, and if you take your fingers off the stick, it will just go straight. It is all adjustable. You can set how much it responds in that mode, sort of ascent and descent rate. Then you would switch to a different mode to land it. So you can get a similar experience with Ardu plane and using a Pixel. And with the addition of this controller, you would also have the HD video feed. So at the minute you don't have the experience with the goggles where you put your phone in the goggles. But yeah, maybe a way to link it to existing goggles will come. But essentially, yes, you can set up a Pixel based fixed wing to fly like a disco.
Thank you very much. Thanks again for the time, Ben, for going through that. Hopefully that's answered those questions. Again, if you have any more questions, pop them in the video down below, and hopefully I'll be coming back here probably after Easter time, probably early summer. I can't stay away because every time I come in here it's full of really cool stuff. So thank you again to Ben for the time. Thank you to everyone for the questions, and don't forget to check out that Big Boys playlist. I'll pop a link in the description below the video.
Thanks for watching the video and watching right to the very end. You can find me in all the usual places on social media, and if you like the video and like what I'm doing here, then hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification icon too. If you really like what I'm doing, you can go the extra mile and become one of my Patreons for access to me directly for support, and also giveaways and regular updates too. If you're looking for particular content, then check out the playlist. I organise all of my videos into playlists, so if you're looking for a particular topic, you can find everything here. If it's called Introduction To, it's designed to start very simply and build on that simple introduction to teach you all about it. If it's called For Beginners, then that is really aimed at people who are brand new to that part of the hobby. You can also search on YouTube for anything that you're interested in using the search function at the top. So iNav Painless 360 will find all of my videos and even the playlists around iNav. So thanks again for watching, and happy flying.